Warm up. That was a warm up. That was a warm up. Yes. Yeah. Moving in just fortress like it's NOI. I don't even need the army. Why? Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on? Lowe's Arts, Frame of Thought. Hey, like, share, and subscribe. We're going to keep rocking with these videos. Look, we got to jump into it, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, I think music is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying that because I'm an artist myself. Again, the intro track, that's one of my older tracks. Actually did that track to give you the full backstory on it. It was a freestyle. It was just a one take freestyle. I'm not saying it was the best song. I have better songs, but the reason why that song is significant, right, is because take it back down memory lane, 2020. Let's say May 2020, right? Shut down, pandemic, uncertainty, people not knowing what's going on. You know, some people abiding according to the rules that were implemented every single day, which were crazy, right? Some people weren't, right? And for whatever reason, it did what it did. You know what I'm saying? Like to see where it did numbers, right? RIP to anyone who lost anyone due to that time frame or around that time frame. Just the stress of it was real, right? Anyway, with that song though, I recall, man, you know what I'm saying? I always try to stay in tune with what's going on. And so I was watching with my kids actually one weekend. You know, I had my kids and we were just watching I don't know, you know, we just usually we're watching movies, some sports or something. Like I'll turn on some sports or something or whatever the kids want to watch, or you know, my lady was there at the time. But you know, in the midst of just, you know, picking up the remote and just, you know, just seeing what's going on with the news, just like I was talking about with children. I turned on the news, CNN, and they had like what was going on down in Atlanta. They were rioting, going crazy, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that was really one of the moments, you know, when I felt like, you know, that George Floyd thing was really hitting home, you know, because if we recall, it was actually when Atlanta was going through it, right? The city of Atlanta, the youth in Atlanta was going through it over the Mr. RP, Mr. George Floyd, regardless of whoever he was in his real life. I mean, like nobody should be lynched, right? On camera. No black man, no black woman, no Asian man, no Asian woman. Like we could just go down the road, like, you know, no one, right? However, Atlanta was going through it first. And I'm looking at this on the news and my kids, I'm like, what, you know, what's going on? Like, you know, I'm like, man, you know, basically what I went on my Instagram and put up a video that next morning, that Saturday, you know, I was over near the lake, just took a walk early in the morning. And I was just saying they should never, you know what I'm saying, put their hands on that black man like that. Like, you know what I'm saying, try to take what they did, take him out, unfortunately. And so, man, I just felt because my feet is planted on the ground, so I felt what was going on around us, right? You know, so I'm building towards, you know, this episode right here. And so, you know, just follow me. And so a few days later, like I think like that was that Friday, and then like Saturday, like everything, the text and everything, the alerts come through the phone up here in Chicago, right? Letting niggas know curfew and this and the third because it's probably shit going, it's getting sent up somewhere on social media or just word of mouth around the city because we about to go out there and act the fool. All right, Chicago known to do that. They'll go downtown, especially the youngest. They'll go downtown, fuck some shit up, set some police cars on fire, like, you know, and then people from out of town be looking at that on the news. I'm like, why ain't the parents? Like, look, hey, look, especially during the pandemic, but even after the pandemic, you know, that's when the flash mob thing came about where people would just link up real quick and then sometimes it'll be on some BS. Anyway, long story short. So it started getting rowdy up here and, you know, it was crazy. I was so comfortable. I was driving through the street. My lady, she was crying. Like, I'm like, why are you crying? but she was just, hurt to see all the madness that was going on. People was running across the street. Like, we was in the hood, so, I ain't feel like no threats and nothing like that. It was just more so like, it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, they should never put their hands on that black man like that. That's what I was, put on Instagram. That's what I told my kids as well. So that Sunday, I dropped my kids off as well. Like, so that, Saturday night when things was getting turned up, you know what I'm saying? I was driving around with my lady. We had to go to Walmart or something. Walmart was getting ran through. And then that Sunday, so the same weekend, I had to drop my kids off. My children's mother, she's, oh, my babies. I'm like, hey, all right, it'll be chill. Like, so we just drive through the street and just calm, of course. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not seeing the threat in this, we black out here, as the brother Kwame Brown would say. But no, for real though. That next morning I had a studio session. So I was driving through the city before the session. Let's say it's like 11, noon, something like that. And I'm saying, shit's still on fire, nigga. Like, cars on fire. Like, shit was crazy. It was wild. And so, when I got into the studio, and y'all can find that song on Tidal, you can find it on Spotify, you can find it on YouTube. I had the links in the description. Yeah, we're still an artist, and we we'll still get into the studio, but then again, we're still on that street corner. That's how we came up, you know what I'm saying? Just rhyming back and forth in the cypher. So we could always get boogie with you like that, of course, and it's still nice like that, like for real, like relevant rhymes because we pay attention. So that's why I thought it was important, you know what I'm saying? To and shout out Subterraneous. That's why I used to go, get down there. That was therapy for me as well as a black man. Like, he ain't got many outlets, but I go up there, spit my shit. And I knew motherfuckers was coming from me, but it was always more so like, okay, cool, upper hand. So that means I'm gonna strike first. I got the higher ground, so to speak. Trying to play it that way. So that's why I fuck with Dee-1. He's a rapper. He's an artist. He's also college educated. He's also, businesses that he, got his hands on and stuff like that. He's from New Orleans. So what I'm saying though is that, like, we can't always put people in a box, you know what I'm saying, in terms of their art. So recently he did, a freestyle, and he got up there and he called out a few of the biggest bosses in the game, right? Rick Ross, right? He's past his prime, his white hot years, as Jay-Z will call it, in terms of, when he thought he was Big Meech and Larry Hoover and stuff. And Meek Mill, of course, he, has that Philly grind in him. But then again, he did kind of latch on to the Chicago drill scene. I mean, once drill took off, it went everywhere, right? You know what I'm saying? So, of course, that's just come from the hunger of what was going on in the city. You know what I'm saying? Especially after that 2008 recession. Anyway, you still have to have responsibility. Like, what people rap is not what they always live, but then again, you can't take it too far away from their understanding because they understand it, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like, when we black, we always have to be held to a higher standard, and that's always measured against one another consistently. And then again, measuring ourselves against the greater society or the more dominant society. And there's a lot of people within our own communities that will always, or very frequently, focus on the dominant society's leverage over, black men. Let's say it's artists, right? Being independent, you don't get your music spread, I should say, as well as effectively. It's a machine. That's why, people be popping, because the machine is popping for them. Let's say the baby, but once they got done with the baby, they, as I once heard before, once the system get a hold of you, you get in that system. I spoke about the system last video. Well, I think it's going to actually air today Friday, I'm sorry. But the part 2 of the Jeezy and the Genie Mind circumstance. Some people go into that system. I wasn't necessarily referring to them per se. I know I just mentioned their name, but I'm just saying, like, the analogy I was using in the midst of moments I was having when I was speaking in conversation was more so like, if you go into that system, then it's like jumping into that portal. Yeah, you can get to the other side quicker. I think the grind is a little bit more effective though. Like, in a sense of like I work for the because like all the music that I, was able to put together, and I maybe have like 100 some odd tracks or something like that over the years. Um, I put it with my own money. You know, I was able to get a publishing deal. Um, that's why, the song on here is the intro song. But then again, hey, we do this so we can, plant seeds, be artists, express yourself, see, tell your side of the story of how you see the world. And hopefully it makes sense to someone in a positive manner. That's what I think Dee-1 is about. That's what I think that's what's going on right here. Because it's a power struggle. But let's jump into these videos real quick. That was a bit of an intro, but let's jump into it.
Meek Mill, you can do better, brother. I love you too much not to be honest with you. Are you the face of prison reform? Because are you the face of prison reform? Or are you sitting here on your new song with Russ talking about getting somebody murked and shot at the red light? Which one is it, bro? Which one is it, bro? Because I did a shoe giveaway in my city and gave out 1,300 pairs of your shoes because they said reform underneath them. And I love that you partnered with a major shoe company and you out here pushing.
Hey, shout out to Sway. Shout out to Forgotten Kings TV. But yeah, man, it's good information.
Prison reform. But now I got to sit here like, man, this man glorifying getting people killed as of a week ago. Like, what are you doing, bro? Be honest with you.
There you go.
That's what it is, bro.
Yep.
And so if anybody feel bad about being called out, it's like let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk about it and let's just figure out what we can do better. But at the end of the day, guess what's not changing? The word of God ain't changing.
Okay.
There's death and life in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18 and 21. That's not changing. And trying with this foolish argument that it's just entertainment. This ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
How many more people got to die in the hood, man?
Hey. We got to talk about it. Because I think that that's one of the things that, we promote over here, even though I did mention I'm an artist, but we promote this. We promote stop the violence. We promote that over here. If anybody know this area, anybody know this, this is a real city block, from my hood. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think like, when we really do have to look at the standpoint of, are we growing? Man, well, I have to put it like this. There is a faction of women. I'm not necessarily wanting to call any particular shows or channels. I'm gonna do some reviews on some channels, so y'all see if it pop up if y'all following these videos. But Voodoo Doll TV. Oh my gosh, like it's just some women that there are factions that literally will take aim at men, and I believe that it comes from a level of the disassociation that some of these artists have with the music, right? I'm not saying that that's a rationale, an excuse, or anything like that. I'm simply stating that it does have some impact. And so, however old Rick Ross is right now, I mean, maybe it's the time to, for us all to get called out at some point, right? And you have to be willing to endure that. That's what a man would do, right? So clapping back, because a lot of women just think like, men are emotional or sassy anyway nowadays. And that's not the truth. How many men do you really see acting in a way where, that's something that they typically do? And if they do, then that's where they're at with it. Right. So like if a man just shows some level of displeasure or disagreement, then that's being negative, being seen as negative from this particular faction of, group, whatever gender, they may be, because it could be anyone in any gender. Now, but that's what I'm stating. The archetype is what they're after. So maybe the artists do have something to do with that. I mean, I've made music at times where it was graphic, but that was the shock value. It was a purpose. It was a necessity to say something in certain spaces, because you're just rhyming off the top of your head and you're trying to be clever, and then again at the same time you're trying to be, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of have like a battle rap vibe to it. That's what, even, how people who produce music, they attack it, not with the slow soliloquies and the hard punchlines, and stuff like that, as if it is a physical fight, just verbally. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody listen to Drake music, subliminals, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't originate subliminals. That's been going on ever since Rakim. That's been going on ever since who's some of the greatest lyricists, you know what I'm saying? Andre 3000. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's AZ. AZ was pretty dope. People don't sleep on AZ. Shoot, man. I don't know. Of course, Scarface, greatest storyteller there ever was. You know what I'm saying? Right next to Slick Rick, you know what I'm saying? And Snoop Dogg at times, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when it really comes down to it, we got to think about it from a real standpoint. Let's jump back to this video, though, because my man really, he felt like he made a statement. I don't think he was doing it for clout, but, I mean, still, if you get the business rocking, you know what I'm saying, then it is what it is, I guess, right? So, we see that, the biggest boss, that nigga, he jumped on his live just to put out a message and retort. So my man has to respond because now the followers are checking now. They're checking. Let's go.
Then that he's unaware of who he's speaking to. And that's okay. Not everybody is obligated to know who Dee-1 is. But trust and believe, very many people do know who Dee-1 is.
Facts.
And they know the work that Dee-1 been doing for the past 15 years.
Facts.
And they know the business Dee-1 been standing on since day one. Communities and all the work in the schools and all the work in the churches and all the work in the prisons. You hear me? They know that. So, of course, he's offended. What up, Mikado? What up, cuz? I see you on here. All that bravado that's coming from a place of, ooh, I'm hurt right now. That's what that's coming from. Yeah. Rose, I don't have to make no jokes about you because I love you, brother. I don't have to make no jokes about you, man. I'm going to let everybody else make the jokes. The internet do that all day. And you know what jokes they make about you. So I ain't got to do that. I truly love you. And I know that you have a big platform. I hope, who been posting this stuff? Hip Hop, Wolf, and all that. I hope that they take this. But don't worry, I'm still going to do a formal video replying. You know what I'm saying? This is just me talking right now to see if he want to jump on live. Let's see. They say Rick Ross is one of my favorite rappers, but he was definitely hurt. That's coming from your fans. You hear me, Ross? That's coming from your fans, bro.
Yeah, let's jump ahead a little bit.
Stop calling me, man. Please. No disrespect, my brother, but golly. Yeah. Anyways, yo. But yeah, I want y'all to see that. So this is the teachable moment in what's going on right now, all right? Number one, here's another thing about Ross. Here's the other thing. You said, what's going on? I think I missed if Ross responded. Jamal, this is my dog. This has been my dog since college. Jamal, get off of this live right now and go on my page, go on my Instagram page, and look at this 1.5-minute video Ross just did about talking about me and what he had to say. He wanted personally. He want to call.
All right. So his live was chopping up that. Hey, let's jump into this next video because again, like, you know what I'm saying, my man has been trending. Meek Mill chimed in. Meek Mill doesn't shy away from the online attention. He had practice with that with Drake back in the day. So let's jump into this one real quick.
Mill, thank you for your reply to my video post, brother. But most importantly, thank you for your honesty and your transparency in your reply. The fact that we could be on different sides of the fence with this or have different opinions, but still remain respectful and not try to deflect, that makes a huge statement to all the millions of people watching this, and it actually empowers them. Now, you said, we do everything, LOL, implying that you could be face of prison reform and you could still be glorifying murder inside of your music. And you said, I've been rapping this way since before I was the face of prison reform. Y'all forgot that fast? No, fam, we didn't forget that fast. But through watching your evolution, we look forward to seeing you evolve musically as well, because your music still touches and has the ability to empower millions of people, bro. That way it's not confusing or misleading to people. I know as an artist you could be thinking, but man, what if I lose some of my fans when I'm making that change because they like me for the old stuff? Trust me, brother. Anybody that you lose when becoming a better version of yourself, that wasn't of God. And you're going to be better because of their loss. You will actually gain because of their loss. But when we have something called cognitive dissonance and willful ignorance that we're employing because we know better, but it's just harder to do better, man, that's the reason why I'm going to keep you in my prayers, and I'm genuinely rooting for you, bro. I want you to get there, brother.
Hey. Whoa. So my man said a lot right there, you know. And shout out to Dee-1, man. You know, shout out to that brother, man. And so I don't know, man. You know, we have to think about it because our music does make a difference. It makes a difference with the people that listen to it. You know, a lot of times it's really through trial and error is that we learn this stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people go through a lot of things in order to make the music that they're able to make and blessed to make, gifted to make. You know, and so with that being said, you have to look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the best way to look at it. Like for example, we do have, again, great artists from this time, from the previous times in history, last few decades, things like that, such as Lauryn Hill. You know what I mean? Lauryn Hill is pretty dope. So before we jump into all of that, though, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, a non-commercial break. I'm borrowing that from brother Professor. I'm sorry. The business. Mr. Black. So let's take a quick commercial break, real quick.
He didn't like it.
Who said that?
Yeah, I got
the video right here.
Only Hawks fans know where the real action is. Only Hawks fans know what they really want to see. And only Hawks fans know just where to get it. The all-new NBA in-season tournament.
Okay, somebody got their critical thinking going, Duke.
You approve? Hey, look. So we're gonna jump into this next video real quick here, man. We got another video with Dee-1. He's discussing, the recent fallout with Rick Ross and also Meek Mill, right? So I think it's important to kind of hear this man out because I think he's speaking for a reason, And a lot of times our messengers may not appear who, we, because, we just want people just to be what and who we human nature with a song, right? But this brother, man, he doing this thing. Shout out Dee-1. Shout out be down in ATL, That's why we had the quick commercial break with the Atlanta Hawks. Well, them Hawks be everywhere, don't they? But shout out ATL, man. Look, they got a different type of vibe going on down there. Salute. But you know what? Chicago's a big city as well, so yeah, it's crazy shit going on up here as well. But let's jump into this video real quick because, again, it gives a little bit more outside of the music. Sometimes you hear the artist and you think that defines the person fully. You don't know the person got family, brothers, sisters, children, a woman, a mother, a father, like people that, you care about, people that you take care for, you look out for and you take care of, I should say. Let's jump into it, though.
Still bumping music that came out 25 years ago because that's the power that music code with a fan. With that being said, Juvenile, Turk, all these brothers have grown up, have matured in so many different ways, but you got fans who are still attached to the old version of them. And that's what they're allowing to
Gucci Mane. Shout out Gucci Mane.
To be in a spirit every day. And that's something to where you got 48-year-old men that's listening.
Jeezy. Shout out Jeezy.
listening to the music that a dude made when he was 21 years old. Exactly. And you allowing that music to be the soundtrack to your life. That is a powerful attachment that we just got to be aware of. And then we got to say, whoa, let me not let that be unhealthy, because that turns you into a fiend, not a fan, a fiend.
Exactly.
He said something big right there. When you're listening and consuming music, you gotta be very conscientious of what you allow to your ears anyway, right? Because that's into your inner space. Of course, everyone is human. So what I'm saying though is that, like, you know, you just gotta monitor it though. When you recognize, like, okay, when I'm listening to, you know, a Drake song driving to work or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that puts you in some type of feeling of mood and stuff like that. You know, maybe the next morning, don't listen to Drake when you on your way to work. You know, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, it just really depends on the person, but also awareness, self-awareness. Like, damn, okay, like I get turned up when I hear that motherfucking Drake song talking about some shit off the Scorpion album, the Nonstop. You know, that's my shit. I listen to Nonstop. You know, I can't listen to a lot of Drake music like that because it just don't cross over for me like that. You know what I'm saying? My understanding is quite different than his. You know, coming up. So respect and salute. But what I'm saying though is that, like, that Nonstop, when you hear that, you put that on, that shit, the vibe is already there. You know what I'm saying? So I rock out to that. But it still depends, you know, as you get older, you know what I'm saying? And it even does appear that Drake is even taking a slight age regression. I'm not saying his mentality or his awareness. I'm saying, like, the music that he's attempted to make is trying to cater to the younger and the younger crowd. I think he's trying to stay relevant just as long as Jay-Z. But I think Jay-Z did that with the help of his family growing the empire as they did.
One of my favorite albums of all time is Goody Mob, Soul Food. Okay, I bring it up damn near every show.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shout out.
It's an album that aged well. I mean, it predicted the future. We lived a lot of the stuff that we saw in Self Therapy Video in real time during 2020. They made grown man music at that time that was just for the. I don't even understand how a young man that young could be thinking like a 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
We need more of that in the industry. But the question is, no, I'm about to keep it all the way real.
Come on.
Yeah, no, we know what these.
Hey, let me pause him right there before he jump into it. So yeah, man. I mean, he said something that was powerful right there. I mean, the industry is always going to limit, you know, voices that dissent, so to speak. You know, disruptive, as Jeezy said in the video that we reviewed yesterday. But then again, at the same time, you know, having the ability to have a variety is how, you know, hip hop was founded. You know, if we're talking about the actual elements, wherewith, you know, it was, you know, in its infancy stages and things of that nature. You know, before everyone laid claim to it and stuff like they do now. With the help of internet and big business and stuff like that, once it, you know, became mainstream and became a worldwide phenomenon. You know, so that's something that literally Black folks in America can say that they have claim to. But other than that, though, I would state that, you know, again, once the bureaucracies became more and more prevalent within the status of maintaining the culture, then of course they would filter out more and more individuals that didn't, you know, fit the need of creating a certain element of music. Again, we go back to the review and the reaction that we did regarding, you know, the Clone Tyrone. So, I mean, it just depends, you know. Let's jump back into it, though.
These folks want.
Yeah.
What makes the money is the sex, the drugs, and the violence. That's what's making the money.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, a lot of these folks are trying to pay their damn bills. So they're like, you know what, sex, drugs, money, and violence. The reason why Outkast made all that money because it was the most creative shit out.
Yeah.
You have to dig into your creative bag if you want to cut through. But then also you got to.
Wow. So he said a lot. So sex, money, drugs, mayhem, everything that you see on GTA and all the music on there too. Like I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 recently. Just, you know, I ain't never got a chance to really play the game like for real. So I'm doing it now, you know. And I was looking at the detail of like even like, you know, one of the black character's house or whatnot. How it have like a water stain on the motherfucking ceiling and shit like that. And I'm sitting there like, this is whoever crafted this, you know, or whatever, you know, computer knowledge that they have. Salute. Yeah, I ain't stunning. But I'm saying like just the culture of what they think would be black people and how black people respond and act and stuff like that, and put that into a microcosm of a video game where people that play that now they're being more and more given an understanding of this is how black people act. It's crazy, and that's how rap music is. It's a pill, so to speak, like a perk or a Molly. You know what I'm saying? And so it really is. They put you in a capsule and they want to just give it to the masses to keep them rocking. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that means for whoever it is. Because some of the music is really drugged out. I was really listening to a goddamn Young Boy song recently. It was like a freestyle. And I'm like, what is freestyle about? It sounds like an opera song, nigga. Like it sounds like a goddamn chorus, a choir in church, nigga. Like I'm sitting here like, what is going on here? This is a freestyle, and people be rocking out to Young Boy. I ain't stunning on the fans. I ain't stunning on, you look in the comments, they be rocking out. And I wonder how much that is induced with drugs, nigga. Let's jump back into it.
To be in tandem with the powers that be that will say, you know what? I will allow Turk to go out here and preach this gospel. I will allow Dee-1 to go out here and preach this gospel, and I'll put the bag behind the gospel. But if they're looking at their analytics and based off of historical, data, they're thinking, no, shake what your mama gave you is gonna work better every damn time. You know what? This is gonna sell. This is gonna fly off the shelves. You know something else that pissed me off? I don't know if y'all.
And shout out to Live Crew. Shout out Uncle Luke Skywalker. Shout out Miami Dade, nigga. Like I love Miami, man. Like, I'm one of those niggas, like, I ain't no Florida nigga, but I'll be down there with them niggas, like, what's happening? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be right down there. Like, I love that space, man. And I've been all up through Florida, nigga. Like, nigga, I got stories about Florida, nigga. Orlando, Cali, nigga. Like, nigga just traveling up and down, you know what I'm saying? I-4, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got crazy stories. But no, for real though, that's important. You know what I'm saying? I think it feels a need for, the corporations to give us our identity. They clone Tyrone.
Y'all saw this. Lauryn Hill snapped the other day.
Oh.
And when she snapped, you know what she said?
What that?
She said, I made the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I'm still touring singing that damn album. But they wouldn't let me make another one.
Oh.
The Miseducation was one of the greatest albums of all time. And she said that they wouldn't let her make another one.
Exactly.
My daughters are going to listen to anything that's going on right now.
Exactly.
Because that Miseducation album probably saved a lot of lives.
That's one of my wife's favorite
artists. So what was it that caused the industry to say, you know what? Lauren, even though this album is a great ass album and you're going to be touring with this thing for the rest of your life, we ain't going to support you making another one of these. Where's that disconnect? Where's that coming from? Because when you got somebody that got the skills to pay the bills,
man, that's deep.
You see what I'm saying? But then she says they didn't let me make another album like that.
It's stuck, man.
Hey, look. Shout out Lauryn Hill. Hey, we're going to play that video real quick. I want y'all to hear what my man was talking about because Lauryn Hill, she did go in. Let's jump into it.
Let me do it. I do it because I stand here in the name of God, and I do it.
Hold on. We got to play that one more time.
Yo, y'all lucky I make it on this blood rod stage every night. I don't do it because they let me do it. I do it because I stand here in the name of God, and I do it. God is the one who allows me to do it. Who surrounded me with family and community when there was no support. When the album sold so many records and no one showed up and said, hey, would you like to make another one? So I went around the world and I played the same album over and over and over.
Hey, shout out to the great Lauryn Hill. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill's album she's talking about. She was too deep for the masses, I believe. Not saying her music wasn't it, You know, I think like when it come down to it, having that type of music that she created at that time, she had some emotional music, she had some feel good music, she had some call to action music, she had some dance music, and some of the dance music, she snuck in some call to action words in there sometimes. Like she was real clever with it. Like she wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gave somebody a project to do and on their job and they're like, okay, they finally see I have the opportunity to do something big with this project. I'm a really do my thing right now. And, you know, I don't know, people do that because it's a competitive nature in them. They have the skill set, they have the creativity. But then again, at the same time, yeah, on some level you want the recognition. Yes, of course. You did a good job. I'm a type of person. I'm like, yeah, I like to hear that every now and again. Definitely not somebody that, I don't want nobody to pat me on the back. No, because I need to do this anyway. However, and I was gonna do it anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was always a self starter, and so when it come down to it, for someone, then yes, you want to hear like, "Thank you, you're doing a good job," or "I love you." Sometimes that's real. That's what a real. This channel is going to be built on, basically what the media presents, but how we should think about it from a male's perspective. Women can tap in and see what a man is thinking. Well, men can, you know what I'm saying? Like, as we were saying, church, what I'm saying, whole life and stuff like that. But, of course, everybody should find some way to get to some spiritual understandings at some point, right? So, but we're saying church sometimes, like, what I'm saying, touch and agree. You know what I'm saying? Like you just agreeing on how we're going to, go about this and their strength in numbers. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back into this video real quick though, man, for real.
It's stuck in time and I'll go back to that mighty dollar. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I also heard you speak on a lot of female artists. Why do you think females are, going to the direction that they go into, far as the things that they're speaking on, Sexy Red, which I think is a great artist, having the sex tape released and then revealing that she's pregnant and, I just think it's degrading, you know what I'm saying? But why do you think they now, I feel like the industry is glorifying our women to be a certain way, because if we gonna glorify women being this way, it should be all women and not just our women, you feel me? And
shout out to Turk, man. Hot boys, man. The hot boys on fire. Hey, look. Hey, look. Yeah, Chicago niggas was hearing that shit even back then up here too. Like Chicago radio will play like everything like a little bit from everywhere. So we got seasoning from like everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we were still like with our music, we still kept that shit Chicago, like for real. We'd tell you about a block, we'd tell you about a lick that motherfucking went wrong, we'd tell you about a motherfucking like that's just Chicago music. And then like how the bride try to set you up or you know what I'm saying? That's how hip hop music, I would assume, like even still to this day. But and shout out Turk, man, the hot boy. Hey, let's get into this video right here. This video right here really is very hilarious. Like, because my man did bring up Sexy Red and her music. So we got to think about it like, okay, she is touching the youth. She is doing shows. This is what her music is doing right now. Check this out.
My man.
I love that video. Hey man, shout out to Miss Shawn. I saw that video on her channel, man. That shit dope. Look, for real though, and grandma was breaking it down. Like I hope You know, the old man, they did their thing when they got to the crib. And they like, whatever, shout out, salute. Look, but no, for real though, my man was speaking about, Sexy Red, and that's what the music is doing right now. It's doing numbers. But what type of numbers is it doing on our children? I ain't trying to be that preachy dude. I ain't him. I have a daughter though, and I'm a review. I keep bringing up that lady Voodoo Doll TV. Jesus, Lord Jesus. Shout out, salute. However, we're gonna review one of her lives. I don't know why I need to do this, but I'm gonna do it. We're gonna review one of her lives because, again, just to hear some of the conversations that transpire in that space, I'm like, damn, man. I had conversations with my daughter now about what I'm saying, the sisterhood and stuff like that. She's seeing it from, of course I have sisters, I have a mother, what I'm saying? So they have aunties, they have women around, they have kids at school, so my daughter is very, very aware and very smart. Of course, she attached to me. However, what I'm stating though is that, man, I be trying to give a game on the sisterhood, not saying anything negative. Please, ladies, don't come for me. Look, it's all love, I swear. But some of the stuff that they were saying on there was saying how to interview niggas about, if they into manosphere shit and if they don't like feminism or women who work alone. And I'm sitting here what are we talking about? And some of them people just, because they was talking about the Keke Palmer thing. And let me just give a full disclaimer. And I'm sitting here she had to jump right up on that story, of course, because I understand the believability of the circumstance, and how detrimental that is, especially since I have a daughter, right? So, of course, I'm choosing my words correctly or wisely. Hopefully, they're correct. But what I'm stating, though, is that, no, for real, though, when it really comes down to it, some of the conversations that and I'm getting a little bit off track, but I got to say this because this is what I'm going to review that very soon. Talking about, if a man doesn't believe a woman should work and all this, I'm like, that's not real. That's not what's really going on in the real world. That's what you'll do on a date now. But when you're really in the real world, you'll watch their movements. You'll watch how they move, and then you'll talk to them. I'm from a different era, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I was born in 85. You know what I'm saying? So you do the math on the age. You know what I'm saying? And I never was sheltered in any home. You know what I'm saying? So Gucci Man's understanding of how he came up is a little bit more closer to what, if you just look at a picture of me, what you think my life was. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I was trapping out the bando. Probably sleeping in the bed. No, I'm joking. No, for real though. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back into it. That's why, even when I make music, why I come from a real place is just trying to give real understandings, but hopefully people feel it. Let's jump back into this video though. For real though. We're gonna get through the rest of this video and then we're gonna wrap it up. We've been doing longer videos as of recently. And it's not because I have more to say or that I think that it would attract a larger audience or anything like that. I think that it's important to show how we're connecting and interconnecting all of these videos into a synchronized thought. You know what I'm saying? Where it has some level of understanding, maybe some jewels, maybe some entertainment, maybe, a joke or, here and there or whatever. But really just to get down to what's really, going on in this space, which is the real world, but we live in it online. Let's go.
And you don't see Britney Spears, all the rest of
Taylor
them.
Swift.
Taylor Swift, Adele, you know what I'm saying? You don't see them doing the things that our culture is doing. So don't say female this and this is how females are supposed to do. Why you think it's like that?
Why are the women in the industry pushing the type of messages that they're overwhelmingly pushing right now? It's clearly in an effort to chase money and attention. It's that simple. It's not in an effort to represent themselves in the best manner possible, because they know that there's other aspects of who they are as people than what they're putting out there on display. But they are seeing what the industry wants from them, what the fans seem to want from them, and they're like, bet, I could take it there. That's what y'all want. And I'm just going to turn the volume up to 10, you hear me, and take it all the way there. That's why they're doing it. And at the end of the day, it's about who are we serving? Are we serving serving God or are we serving the master called money? And people want to believe in God but serve money.
Man, that's big.
See, that's the difference, brother. In the black community, you're gonna be hard pressed to find somebody who like, man, I don't believe in God. Man, what y'all talking about? Everybody want to believe in God, but everybody want to serve money.
Exactly.
Hey, my man, shout out to Dee-1. He took it there. But I think that's another thing too. Like, women don't believe that men have this versatility. Women don't believe, some women, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. Some women don't believe that men have this level of versatility, complexity, depth. And a lot of the times, if they encounter it, it may, not be something that's suitable for them because it may not be what they're used to. It depends on whatever pool that you have available unto you. Some men would have the ability to have a larger pool depending on their ability to just relate to one another. Okay. And so with that being the case, again, depending on the person, when you're younger, I'm giving women a better understanding on how men respond to things. I should know, right? I have 6 older brothers, I do have 3 older sisters as well, but I grew up with most of my brothers. So that understanding, look, I had to learn how to be a better parent when my daughter got here. With my son, it was cool. It was like autopilot. Like, I didn't even think nothing of it. My daughter got here, I had to take a step back and really reassess, And, when you're making adjustments for yourself, you're not doing it just for yourself alone. You're doing it for your children. So that's why, I try to speak on some of these things from my point of view. Hopefully it helps. However, some women may think that, men aren't complex, aren't, versatile, don't have any depth. But Dee-1 is clearly showing that. My man Turk right now, he's an older man. He was with the Hot Boys, but now he's an older man. He got children. He's just trying to feed the family now. So, I mean, when it really comes down to it, we have to look at it from a standpoint that's real. What Dee-1 does with his music, because if you really listen to his joints, he really got bars. Now, when you have that in every bar across the country, I don't think that was his purpose. And any woman looking at him like that's his purpose, I don't think that was what he saw for himself, or that's what God wanted for him to be in every single bar. You see what I'm saying? And so the message is greater. The skills, like he was talking about, the skills that God allowed you to have, and you have to use those talents and not bury them. So I mean, when it really comes down to it, that's in the Bible. So what I'm saying though is that, like, you know what I'm saying, when it really comes down to it, there is some level of accountability for these rappers, artists, entertainers. You can't just be doing it for the gram. You can't just be doing it for clout, because that's what hip hop was founded upon initially anyway. And so anybody that may be on the gravy train with Rick Ross, then I would ask them, do you understand the nuances of hip hop? It was based on, I know it's something totally different now, but we have to think about where we came from to know where we're going. Because if we in like a crossroad, like now when things are just going smooth, of course, you can just, run the same plays, you know what I'm saying? Like boom, 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 boom. But when you come into a space where you come against some opposition, then you have to be able to, like, okay, we got to run the plays that work the best right now, at least for a little while. Until, you know what I'm saying, things, the way open up a little bit more. And that's the best way to think about these things. Let's jump back into this video.
Well, I think all of these women are very talented, you know what I'm saying? And once again, their singles might be that, But when you listen to their music as a whole, just like the guys who rap about violence, when you listen to it as a whole,
Okay.
I don't think it's glorification no more. You know what I'm saying? Because I can take it here, I can take it there, but this is what's making my money. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay. The
then we have to
versatility,
talk about a whole
dog.
nother thing, and I don't think everybody is
With the
on that
Sexy Red
spiritual
art.
walk to where we gonna be God. It's just gonna be God.
And
You
that's
know what I'm saying?
and if we really want to talk, that's the thing. So many people in the music industry aren't ready for that talk. That we were put here as human beings before we were put here as artists. You heard me? That's Tab. You heard me?
Mm-hmm.
We know him as Turk. Man, that's Tab, man. This David. You heard me?
Right.
Y'all know me as Dee-1. Man, it's David.
Hey, Lowe's art. Yeah, Lowe's art. It's really Lowe's art. But I'm just low. I've always been low. This is me. You know. Angelo. You know. Same dude. And that's the crazy part. Because people always want to try to see how much you have developed since you were younger. You know. And I just tell them straight up, I developed all in the right places. For real. But let's wrap it up. Hey, I think that, this was an important conversation. I think that, again, the way that we present our content is going to be slightly different than everyone else. We're not like everyone else. That's why this content is going to be what it is. And it's going to do what it does. You know what I'm saying? Respect, love, like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, we got some good understandings from these videos. Hopefully, I didn't do too much talking over the videos. I try to keep that together as well. But yeah, we're gonna keep at it. We're gonna keep making these videos. Again, Lowe's Arts, Frame of Thought. Like, share, and subscribe. To the next one. Peace.